me for stuff. The tethers always blame me. Tariq makes you hate us. Tariq makes you xenophobic. Tariq brainwash you. I didn't brainwash nobody. I didn't trick nobody. People are just tired of folks undermining us. They're tired of the disrespect. And we basically decided to respect and look at our own lineage and designate our own lineage and put respect on our own lineage and make other people put respect on the lineage. Yeah, that's what it is. And again, I've always said what makes you a foundational Black American is that you are a combination of the Aboriginal people who were here. And I was arguing with Tethers all day yesterday about that. They were trying to deny that. I'm hitting them with irrefutable facts that there were Black people on this land way before Columbus. And again, we were mixed in with the Africans who came over. That is a fact. They put us all on the same plantation. We were all living in the same area. So, of course, we intermingled with each other, and that created an ethnogenesis. That's what makes us foundational to the United States. And we're a Black American by logic. You see? So it's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. All right, let me get some other people in here. All right, y'all hop on in here. And we're getting in here. A lot of people are getting in here. Let's see. Where we at? Let's get liberal economists. I'm gonna A Black TV. All right. What's up, some of the people in here? How do I mod people up too? I'd like to get some moderators in here to kind of.
How you doing, Tariq?
Hey, brother. How are you, sir?
All right. We listen to you, a lot of Black people, a lot of us Negro people. We listen to you both on Twitter. I come from Twitter, but we listen to both on Twitter and TikTok. So really enjoy your shows. But I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, very erudite, very succinct questions, if possible.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so I was on a couple of African panels on TikTok just earlier today, and I was arguing with a couple of them, especially Nigerians, telling them that, especially ones from the UK, telling them that it's not possible for them to trace their lineage back 3. Birth certificates are new. It's a new invention for them. There was never a standard language or a standard form in which they could track their lineage past 3 generations. Would you agree to that? Of Ethiopia and except that I'm talking about more specifically West Africans. I'm talking about West Africans. So again, no West African can trace their lineage past about 3 generations, past 1960. Most of the countries had their independence around the 1960s. So again, aside from Liberia, which of course we all know that Black American freedmen had founded that country under the American Colonization Society. The first president of Liberia was a Black American freedman. But aside from Liberia, my claim to you, and I want you to just say yay or nay on this, as to whether or not West Africans, their lineage past about approximately 3 generations.
Okay,
that's my question.
Okay, yeah, and that's kind of an accurate assessment, and not just the West Africans, really most of Africa. And I'm not saying that to disparage them, but a lot of them don't have birth certificates over there. They don't really keep the same kind of records as we do here. So a lot of them don't have birth certificates. So when they tell us that we don't know who we are, I think that's a projection. Our history and lineage is very well documented here. No, somebody's saying, don't act, or somebody's like, huh? Yeah, a lot of people in Africa don't have birth certificates. That's why when they come over here and immigrate here, they list their birthdays as January 1st. Google that. Most immigrants who come over here, they have a January 1st birthday. That's like a default birthday for immigrants. Google that. A lot of people who have January 1st birthdays are immigrants because they do not have birth certificates. Family, y'all notice These basketball players that come from Africa to play over here, they never know how old they really are. Y'all notice that? I'm not being mean, but yeah, who was that? Was it Matumbo? Where was Matumbo from?
Okay, they said Google it. I'm gonna Google it. What's up, y'all? Back at it like a back spasm. Back at it like a crack addict. Okay? Back at it like an asthmatic. God damn it. They said Google it. Let's Google it. January 1st, common birthday for many immigrants because they were assigned the date when they had no birth record to provide, often due to fleeing conflict or refugee situations. Fleeing is kind of, why it's associated with the tether. Without a birth certificate, immigrants are often given a placeholder date, and January 1st is a frequent choice for government agencies and individuals. Lack of birth records, okay? Lacking a robust record-keeping system, so they do not have official birth certificate. The placeholder date, that's like you floating. You don't know how old you is, for real. That's crazy. Assigned paperwork. Some immigrants choose January 1st because it's the easiest to provide when they don't have access to their actual birth records. Okay, let's talk about it. This is especially true to refugees from countries like Somalia, Ethiopia. This is East Africa. You think you're special. Burma, Laos, and the Sudan, where official birth records will often not keep due to conflict or displacement. Why so many immigrants have birthdays on January 1st? Okay, it's surprisingly common for immigration to America. So they talking about how it's assigned. Hundreds of thousands of people who have resettled in America are assigned a New Year's Day birthday by citizenship and immigration. January 1st is a common date for many immigrants. Okay, so that's kind of, speaking on it. But another thing they mentioned was the Freedmen Act. Freedmen Act of 1865. So now, man, you be talking about 1,000 years ago. An act to establish a bureau for the relief and freedmen and refugees was a U.S. congressional act signed into the law March 3rd, 1865, to aid newly freed African Americans, white refugees post-Civil War. The Freedmen Bureau provided essential services like food, shelter, medical care, help establish school. See how we getting in the records, right? Former supervised labor contracts between former slaves and employers. Establishment, aid and relief, shelter, education. Okay, family reunification. The agency helped reunite families separated during the war and provided assistance for legal marriages entered into during slavery. Okay. Government intervention, assisting hundreds of thousands of formerly enslaved people. And then see, notice they're gonna take the troglodyte out as the ball roll forward. Challenges and limitations. The Bureau faced challenges including limited funding, political opposition from President Andrew Jackson, and discriminatory black codes in southern states that sought to reimpose forms of slavery. Okay. And during records, the extensive records kept. See, this is why we can plant the flag as FBA, whether you want to claim the native side with the Moorish and the mound builders and the Olmecs, cool. You still foundational. You still a nigga. This still America. Or whether you want to go with the chains and the bracelets, getting off the boat, whether it's fake or not, right? And a lot of motherfuckers like to say I got Indian in my family and all that. True, you do, right? Seminole, Washington, I get that. They got enslaved too, but because they look like you, because they what you feel what I'm saying? Because the slave from Africa and the motherfucker that was over here look alike, the troglodyte enslaved them both. What you think y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna lay up? You can tell motherfucker your genealogy or your phenotype or your, you know what I mean? It ain't hard to tell. So motherfuckers got the interbreeding, if you want to call it that. But we ain't gonna get into Mansa Musa and men bought the boats over here and dropped off West Africans, but let's move on. Look at we're talking about reparations. See, this is why the reparations talk can get had. No, Abraham Lincoln did not pay reparations to free slaves. He signed a law that paid former slave owners. He signed a law that paid former slave owners for each enslaved person they freed, a measure intended to ease the transition to freedom. Okay. $300 for each enslaved person. Reparations to slave owners. The law provided up to $300 for former slave owners for each enslaved person after the loss of their property. No compensation for free people. The free people received no compensation for their generations of stolen labor or the personal hardships they endured. The 13th Amendment after the Civil War, the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, but it did not include any provisions for reparations for formerly enslaved people. Okay, what's the significance? The Freedmen's Bureau provided assistance to tens of thousands of formerly enslaved people in impoverished white southern states, District of Columbia. Years following the war, it helped free people establish school records. Now, yes, the word Seminole is widely believed to be derived from a word that means runaway or fugitive. The term describes a diverse group of people, primarily Creek Indians and formerly enslaved African Americans who left their original communities to settle in Florida in the 18th century. From Spanish to Creek to English, the most accepted theory is that the name comes from the Spanish word cimarron or wild runaway. The term is used by Spanish to refer to native people who had left their mission village to live independently. The Creek people adopted this term, which means Seminole in their language, meaning outcast or separatist. The English later adopted it from the Creek, pronouncing it Seminole. Okay, let's talk about it. As European powers encroached on their land, different groups of native people from Alabama, Georgia, mostly Creek, migrated to Florida to escape conflict. They merged with remaining Florida tribes, and were joined by enslaved Africans who had escaped to freedom. This diverse group became known collectively as the Seminoles, a meaning of resilience. Okay. The Black Seminoles. Let's click on it. Black Seminoles or Afro-Seminoles are an ethnic group of mixed Native Americans, African origin, associated with the Seminole people, Florida and Oklahoma. That's a long distance away. They are mostly blood descendants of Seminole people, free Africans, and escaped former slaves who allied with Seminole groups. Spanish Florida history includes continuous struggle against invasions, Now, notice how I say preserving their distinct culture and reconnecting with their relatives through the African diaspora. Many have Seminole lineage, but due to the stigma of having mixed origins, they've been categorized as slaves or freedmen in the past. You see the picture right there. So, you see they got the Gullah, right? Mexican, Caribbean. Here in the West and Mexico. So we know about the Gullah Wars that swept the whole Southern America. So I ain't gonna hold you too long, but I think that just kind of got the picture together. You know what I mean? For motherfuckers that was here. Maybe I put some slides in to give y'all something to, you know what I mean, digest visually. But let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe. Oh, I want to say fuck Charlie Kirk. You heard it here first. I don't give a fuck. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck whoever's supposed. Fuck the whole, all that shit. We here for it. Like and subscribe, comment. I'm out.
Telling the truth after the white man leaves.
Yes, I attacked you just first. And you threatened my mom. Yes, I threatened your mom, yes. Okay. That's what I did.
Alright. There she goes. This is self-defense of her trying to attack me and kill me.
Can I have my...
Did you?
She was getting the Chad Wheeler special the entire time, yet was babbling about black men online to hide the abuse.
Yeah. Live or die. Yeah.
Look at the text messages between the two. They wanted to do porn on OnlyFans. I told you these white men that get with black women are sexual deviants and see black women as nothing other than a hole to be used and abused. Read his messages. You cannot tell me he isn't gay, and what he really wants is that BBC.
In choosing how to react to this situation, your lifelong instincts will tell you to do one thing, but I implore you to do the opposite. Let the games begin.
Somebody has to die.